There are no coincidences in the world when it comes to Donald Trump. There are no coincidences in the world, period. I've said it before. You think the papal conclave picked Pope Leo because, not because of Donald Trump. He affects all elections, including papal ones. Sure, they picked an activist Pope from Chicago to oppose Donald Trump in the era of Trump. Okay, set that aside for a minute. Forget emoluments. Let's just look at the bribe. Donald Trump's family does a real estate deal with the Qatari government, with their sovereign wealth fund. In these countries, the government is the royal family. And so there's no private sector development unless you're in bed with the government. So they cut a deal for $500 million, right? Sometimes my numbers get a little bit sloppy with Donald Trump because they're so large. He does a multi-billion-dollar deal with the Qatari government to develop this golf course. And less than 10 days later, a $400 million plane gets offered as a gift to Donald Trump, who's always hated U.S. Air Force One. He's never wanted to ride on it. He's always, Trump Air is so much better. Trump Force One. Oh, I hate this plane. By the way, our taxpayer dollars are being used to develop a new Air Force One that would be ready in the next term. But in the meantime, Donald Trump doesn't want to be slumming it on America's plane. You know, that great, beautiful baby blue American plane with the presidential seal on it and all the power that it demonstrates when it lands at an airport, especially in a foreign country. No, he doesn't want that. He wants a plane from Qatar, a country, by the way, putting aside the development deal, that is tied to terrorism around the world. Let me repeat that. Qatar and a flow of money through Qatar tied to terrorism, including indirectly and directly 9/11. I'd like to ask Howard Lutnick, who's the Commerce Secretary under Donald Trump, who used to, until he sold his company, quotes, air quotes, wink, wink, to his two sons. I'd like to ask him when he presided over Cantor Fitzgerald, when planes that were funded through places like Qatar that hit the World Trade Center and killed 658 people in Cantor Fitzgerald, if he's okay with now taking this blood jet in to Donald Trump. And I don't want to hear the argument at all here on the MeidasTouch Network. I don't want to hear the argument that this plane, because Pam Bondi sort of figured it out, working with the White House counsel, that if the Air Force takes the jet, well, watch this one. So now you got Pete Hegseth, who they put in a rubber room without sharp objects so he doesn't hurt himself. They won't even let him pick his own chief of staff. This is the guy they picked to run the Pentagon from the Fox and Friends weekend desk. Pete Hegseth, which ultimately runs the Air Force, is going to accept the plane for the Air Force, which runs Air Force One. The helicopter is Marine One, run by the Marines. Air Force, they're going to accept it. They're going to use it for the next 3.5 years or whatever it is. And then when it's all done, is it going to stay with the American people? Is it going to be a gift from Donald Trump back to the American? No. It's going to Donald Trump's presidential library, skipping over America and its taxpayers 100%. And this, they believe, solves the emoluments clause problem. It does not. Hey, look at me, Michael Popok here. And yes, I'm actually using iRestore's amazing elite hair growth device. And now you know one of my many personal grooming secrets to having great looking hair at 59. It's time to shake off the winter blues and get ready for a fresh start. This season, tackle thinning hair and hair loss with the iRestore Elite. It's a clinically proven solution designed to help you regrow hair with 282 lasers and LEDs delivering light therapy directly to your scalp. Think of it as a rejuvenating treatment for your hair follicles, giving you a new look for the spring season. Now that we're experiencing those in-between days, you know, when it's still chilly, but you're ready for a change, whether it's a rainy afternoon or a quiet evening indoors, the iRestore Elite is the perfect way to take care of your hair. Lightweight, hands-free, and painless. It works while you relax and prepare for the warmer days ahead. No hassle, just real results. For a limited time only, our listeners get $625 off their iRestore Elite when you use code LEGALAF at iRestoreLaser.com. That's $625 off your iRestore Elite at iRestoreLaser.com with promo code LEGALAF to get the hair regrowth device you've been wishing for. and start feeling like yourself again. Listen, the iRestore Elite device is the best at-home laser device in the world. It has more lasers, LEDs, and power output than the competition, ensuring you'll see results wearing it. And maybe the best part about iRestore, they offer a 12-month money-back guarantee, so you can try it risk-free. If your hair doesn't make a glorious return, you'll get a full refund, no awkward questions, just fabulous hair or your money back. Give yourself the gift of hair confidence this spring. For a limited time only, our listeners get $625 off their iRestore Elite when you use code LegalAF at iRestoreLaser.com. That's $625 off your iRestore Elite at iRestoreLaser.com with promo code LegalAF. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Hair loss is frustrating. You don't have to fight it alone, thanks to iRestore. That's where Jamie Raskin comes in. Jamie Raskin, who is our kind of the conscience of the Democratic Party, an extraordinary constitutional scholar, law professor in his own right. He said it's not even difficult. I don't have to do a deep dive analysis. It violates the Emoluments Clause because it's a gift or a present being received from a foreign state to somebody in a position of trust in America. Done. End of statement. The fact that there's also a bribe scandal going on underneath doesn't change the analysis by a fit of alchemy into something else. It's both. It doesn't have to be one or the other. It is both things. It is the Qatari government paying off Donald Trump, who's both the head ultimately of his own real estate development firm and of the United States, because all he's doing is turning the presidency into Trump Inc. It's just a money-making machine for the Trump family. Call it for what it is. I just went out to dinner recently with some friends of mine who, they're moderates. They voted sometimes Democrat, sometimes Republican. And we had a conversation about Donald Trump. And I said, if you want to vote for Donald Trump, that is your God-given right, so to speak. However, you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound. You take him and everything. It's a package deal. You can't separate the items out of the package. And so you need to understand that he has turned the White House, the Oval Office, into the biggest grand theft grifting scheme in history. We just got through saying, it seemed like just days ago, because it was, where we said that one of the biggest schemes and scandals that we've ever seen is in the Trump administration right now, in the form of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and Donald Trump's use of meme coins and controlling the liquidity pool around the meme coin sales in order to pump and dump and make the brokerage fees and put billions of dollars in the pockets of himself and his family. That's right now. That was last week's story. Now, Donald Trump, having gotten a taste for the billions of dollars he's made and is going to make before he leaves this office, like any good kleptocracy, Donald Trump is going to make hundreds of billions of dollars at your and my expense while he's supposed to be doing the people's business as president of the United States. Are you okay with that? I'm not. And Donald Trump got a taste for it. So now he says, well, I'll just take the $400 million plane. And who's his brain trust telling him he can do that? Pam Bondi. She can barely put a sentence together. She can barely read a binder that was presented to her when she did the impeachment defense of Donald Trump. We all saw that. And she's come up with this convoluted Rube Goldberg contraption. Oh, the plane's going to come through the Air Force, and Pete Hegseth says it's okay. Okay, great. Was that after 4 o'clock somewhere or after 5 o'clock somewhere? And then it's going to go from there. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to use it. Who's going to paint it, by the way? Who's going to maintain it? So you and I and our taxpayer dollars are going to paint the plane, maintain the plane, repair the plane. You know how much that costs to fly? You know how much that costs to maintain? You're talking millions of dollars a month. Taxpayer dollars. I thought he was supposed to be saving us money with the efficiency scheme. So now I got to pay for a plane. I got to fly. I got to pay for the fuel. I got to pay for the maintenance. I got to pay for the new paint job because he's going to do some ridiculous gaudy paint job. I got to pay for the crew and the flight time and all of that. And then when it's all said and done, it was just a lease. It's like with a car. You got nothing at the end. because she figured out that from there it goes to the presidential library and skips Donald Trump so he could use it to fly around the country as the ex-president. He just got a gift. He